Om Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. My respectful pranams to Sri Sathguru, to Swami Shrihariprasad. My greetings and best wishes to Professor Sinha, Professor Sampat Kumar, Sri Mahesh ji, and other distinguished members of audience. It is really a very auspicious occasion to deliberate on the life and teachings of Lord Krishna, who is in fact the supreme reality. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, an embodiment of perfection of Sat, Chit and Ananda. He is Sachidananda Vigraha. Sat stands for the total reality. All that was, all that is, or that will be. Well, Lord Krishna is the foundation of that. And therefore, we have an exhibition of it in the Virata Swarupa, which he demonstrated on two occasions. First to Mother Yashoda, and the second to Arjuna in the battlefield. Lord Krishna, therefore, is the ultimate reality. But that ultimate reality is at once both transcendent and immanent. That's the beauty of it. There is paratva, transcendence, but saulabhya, easy accessibility. And therefore, to Arjuna, he is a friend, a philosopher, and a guide. Krishna is also highest form of consciousness, supreme consciousness, chitta. And that supreme consciousness is self-luminous, but also illuminates all others. Tasya bhasa sarva idam vibhati. And the third facet of Lord Krishna is Ananda, supreme bliss. Rasovai saha, Anandam Brahmano Rupam. And that bliss is not only self-rejoicing, but rejoicing all, illuminating all. Raso vai saha, rasam vai labdhva apuman, anandi bhavati. And therefore, we have Lord Krishna as a Purna Avatara of Satchit and Ananda. He is Parama Purusha. There are different facets in the life of Lord Krishna. Three important facets I would like to point out. One is the Balakrishna, the childhood Krishna. The other is the youthful Krishna, when his in childhood his karma bhumi is Braj, but he shifts the karma bhumi to Mathura, and there he is killing Krishna, Kansu, the evil incarnate, and in fact this has been the basic motive of his descendants. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. This is the supreme message which Lord Krishna has to convey to us. So that is the second important stage of his life. And the third one is the proud Krishna, not just the Yuva, but the proud Krishna, who the author of Bhagavad Gita, which is the quintessence of Indian wisdom. Lord Krishna, therefore, is at once charming, alluring, enticing, enlightening, and harbinger of dharma. Multifaceted personality he is. In our present webinar, we are to concentrate on the Balakrishna, the child Krishna, and the pranks, the frolics of Balakrishna are of great symbolic significance. They are not just to be taken literally. And here, he is in fact appearing as Leela Purushottama, the Leela of a child. Leela of a child is something which is spontaneous, something which is devoid of all malice, something which exhibits simplicity of heart, something which is joyful and making others also joyful. They are not to be taken as some such play which are harmful, which are detrimental, which are not to be liked, etc. Well, their symbolic meaning is to be understood. And this is what in the Bhagavad Purana, there is a section called Rasa Panchadhyayi. In Rasa Panchadhyayi, the symbolic meaning of the childhood play, Leela, of Lord Krishna is very beautifully illustrated. This Leela, which is popularly known as Rasa Leela, a Leela centering on rejoicing. And that is not an individual rejoicing, it is collective rejoicing. So it is along with the gopis. In fact, Lord Krishna is the center of this leela, Rasa leela. He is of the age of 9 years, 10 years. In Braj, he was only of that a particular age when he was performing Rasa leela with the gopis. A child of 10 years who is full of joy, full of virtuosity, without any hatred, without any malice. And so the Krishna also stands for that one who attracts, Krishna attracts. So he attracts the childhood friends, both male and female, and undertakes a sportive play with them. The sportive play is not with any mundane purpose. It is something which is spiritual in significance, in meaning. And therefore, its symbolic meaning is to be understood. That, see, Krishna is regarded as Gopala. Literally, go means cows. Of course, he was a cowherd, as the stories go. But Go stands for the senses. Goswami. Senses are always outward going. And senses tend to attend the object, forgetting the subject. So this Rasa Leela is in fact inward looking, coming back to the inner self. Krishna is the inner self, and gopis are the different senses. So he wants the senses to come back to the self, which is the animating principle of all the senses. Without the self, senses cannot be enlivened and animated. So, and these senses are generally covered up by different vices. Covering, they are known as covering. Krishna wants those coverings to be removed. So when the gopis are made to go to river for bath, for cleansing this outer dirt, and Krishna takes away their cloths. Taking away this cloth is highly meaningful. It means that all evil tendencies are to be curbed, are to be dissipated. This is the meaning of, in fact, stealing of the clothes of, and the gopis therefore stands for the different senses, cognitive and conative senses. For all this, what is needed is some sort of egolessness. An innocent child doesn't have this ego. And that's why in the Upanishads, Brahman is compared to a child, small child. a small child has a spontaneous expression of inner energy, and therefore that is also expressed through friendship, through love, through fellowship, etc. So the Balakrishna is the best example of this sort of a love, this sort of a friendship and fellowship. This is because in the worldly life, we do not have a isolated existence. Ours is a collective living, corporate living, and therefore this Sakha Bhava is there depicted in the life of Balakrishna. Krishna, therefore, is also an embodiment of self-restraint. Egolessness means self-restraint. And therefore, we regard him not only as Raseshwara, but also as Yogeshwara. He is a Yogadhiraj. And in him, therefore, even in his childhood pranks, we have his vibhutis at play, whether it is in helping the friends, in enjoying the butter, or killing the vicious forces like the Kaliya Deha or Putana and so forth. Well, these are all symbolic in their significance. So Lord Krishna therefore has a message for us. His message is that in the worldly life, and this is the philosophical significance, a worldly life should be a life of like that of an organic holism. An organism is a whole wherein there are multiple parts. Parts belong to the whole. Whole owns up the parts. And there is always a reciprocity between the parts and the whole. Parts cannot exist, do not exist apart from the whole. And whole also doesn't have much meaning and significance without the parts. So this sort of mutuality is there. Lord Krishna, he refers to this sort of mutuality. And in this mutuality, the parts should not feel that they are apart from the whole. That's why he says, Sarva dharman parityajya, mamekam sharanam bhajo. All parts should give up their narrow mindedness. That this is my dharma, this is your dharma. It's a no. The dharma is always one. And that Sadharma is that we must have this sort of consideration for the whole, for the totality. Totality. This organic holism is the message of Lord Krishna, and this message he has conveyed in all facets of his life, whether it is a Balakrishna or Yuva Krishna or a Prodha Krishna. Krishna, therefore, is, I would say, the supreme manifestation of the sublime grand Indian culture. All that is true, good and beautiful in this cosmos, well, is represented by Lord Krishna. And therefore we say that he is having 64 kalas. 64. Generally, for mundane life, we have only 16 kalas, Shodas kala. But in case of Lord Krishna, because he is Purnavatar, 64 kalas are there. And what is a kala? Kam anandam lati iti kala. That which is joy and joyful and spreads joy. Kam vyatanoti, disseminates joy. Joy is the samambonam of our life. Every living being, not only human, every living being wants to have experience of joy and avoidance of pain and suffering. So the message of Lord Krishna is there that let us have a joyful life. We make ourselves joyful, make others also joyful. There has to be some sort of this collective sharing. It's not a self enjoyment, but enjoyment along with others. This sort of co-sharing. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu. Let's all enjoy in togetherness. Sahano bhunaktu. And therefore, Lord Krishna, in his right from his childhood up to the last phase of his mundane existence, has demonstrated these noble virtues, which are the, I should say, the sublime manifestation of Hindu culture. The word Hindu has been used for Sri Sampat Kumar. Hindu stands for that which is noble. The term that we use in a Vedic literature is Arya. Arya is one who is a noble person. And Arya does not stand for any race or color, etc., etc. That is again a misnomer. So Lord Krishna therefore wants us to be ennobled. And this is what is the message of Lord Krishna. His life is an embodiment of all that is true, good, and beautiful. Let us try our best to imbibe the noble message of Lord Krishna in our mundane life to whatever extent we can. Let me thank Swami Shrihariprasad ji for organizing this webinar. I think it's a routine feature. Every year he is organizing it. And let this sort of organization spread, disseminate the message of Lord Krishna, particularly of the Balakrishna, the childhood. And the Brij Bhumi resounds with this sort of childhood pranks of Lord Krishna. Recently, we had been to Brij Bhumi and we enjoyed our stay there. And let there be more occasions for us to visit Brij Bhumi. Thank you very much.